What up, what up, what up? What's going on, everybody? This your man Lucky. I'm back with another one, man. Just kicking it with y'all for a quick minute. I wanted to hop on this video and talk to you guys about remaining silent because I still don't think that you guys get what I'm trying to say. Or at least a lot of you do, but some of you don't. So I'm trying to get with the ones who are not really understanding how being silent works in your favor. Listen, when you talk a lot, you expose your hand. And when you talk in an unorganized way, which is what most people do when they argue, because your thoughts are all over the place, you begin to, without really recognizing it, expose your hand. You'll say things that you're not supposed to say. Remaining silent is not a weakness at all. Now, to a person who is weak, remaining silent looks weak. But when you remain silent, others who recognize a strong man, others who recognize a masculine man, that silence will resonate with that individual, right? The individual that's looking at whatever situation is going on. Masculine men understand how much discipline it takes to hold back. A masculine man understands and recognizes other masculine men when they're in situations and how those men respond in those situations. See, anybody can react to something that happened. A reaction doesn't take anything. It takes an action, and then immediately following is going to be the reaction. However, a response is totally different. See, a response takes time. A response takes thinking. A response requires analysis. A response requires you to think the whole situation through before you begin to just start, as they say, bumping your gums. That's the difference between a reaction and a response. That's why it takes no time to react, but it takes time to respond. A response is strategic. A reaction is not. Whether the situation requires a response or not is going to be determined by you. But just understand that should you choose not to respond, it's okay. Everything doesn't require a response. It's not weak to remain silent. It's okay. Everybody doesn't need to know what you got going on in your thought process, what you got going on in your mind. It's okay to remain silent. Let me tell you something. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you. I'm going to say that again. Anything you say can and will be held against you. Guys, listen, if you don't want to have anything held against you, just be quiet. A lot of times, man, you start bumping your gums, man, and then you get what they call, what my pops used to say, diarrhea of the mouth. It just start flowing and blah, 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 blah. Before you know it, man, you done said something that you wasn't supposed to say. See, man, listen, any of you guys ever been in an interrogation room where they just keep asking you questions and questions and questions and questions and questions? They'll ask you different ways and then different questions and this and that and blah, blah, blah. The more you talk, the more capable you are of jamming yourself up. Just be quiet. When you're dealing with women, just be quiet, man. You ain't got to get into an argument with her. Arguing is weak. Just remain silent. It's okay. It's not a weakness. Remaining silent is not weak. It's not. It takes a lot. Listen, it takes a lot to hold back. Somebody coming at you some type of way and you just want to pop off at them and you just want to, nah, that's easy. Anybody can do that. That's what children do. They don't even have to think about it. But as a grown man, you should be able to think. You should be able to survey the situation, assess the situation, and make an educated decision as to whether or not this is something that you need to respond to or not. And if it's or not, it's okay. Listen, don't worry about the people that look at you like, oh, he weak, he ain't say nothing. Oh, man, he gonna let somebody do that to him. He ain't even say nothing back to him. He could have at least said something. Listen, let me tell you something, okay? You got to assess certain situations. You got to look around and see what's going on. Sometimes remaining silent will allow you to get out of a situation safely. Now, again, you're going to get those people that are, I ain't going to let nobody just talk to me any type of way. And that's fine. There are many, many people who didn't let somebody talk to them some type of way, so they responded or they reacted and it didn't work out well for him. Now, I'm not saying you got to sit back and be a sucker and you got to sit around and let people disrespect you and you got to let people violate you and all this kind of stuff. But what I am saying is that just because you don't react, just because you don't respond, just because you choose to remain silent does not make you weak. That's the only thing I'm trying to get across. It's okay to remain silent. It's okay not to react or to respond. It's okay. You're not required to. Masculine men fully understand this. Masculine men will remain silent when the time is right to remain silent. A masculine man understands he has to survey the situation and come to a conscious decision as to whether or not it's appropriate to respond and how am I going to respond in a manner to which I can maybe de-escalate a situation or whatever it is. When you choose to get or when you choose to engage in an argument, 99.99% of the time, it's emotional. I'm telling you. Guys, arguing is a form of expressing your emotion. It's an ineffective way of communicating your emotions. It's very ineffective, but essentially, my opinion, that's what arguing is. Guys, listen, man, remain silent, man. It's okay. It takes a lot of restraint. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of emotional intelligence to remain silent. It's okay. Silence is power. When people don't know what you got going on, it scares them. When people realize that they cannot affect you, they cannot get you off your square, it scares them. A lot of times you got to understand people are trying to get you in their energy. And when people realize that they cannot get you into their energy, you stand strong on your energy, that scares them. You got to understand that when somebody is able to engage you in an argument, they have control over you. You have relinquished control over to that person that is able to engage you in an argument. Do y'all get what I'm saying? I don't think y'all do. Listen, man. Walking away from a situation, not arguing, remaining silent, does not make you a weak man. It truly does not make you a weak man. And if you think that walking away from a situation, look, whether you're right, whether you're wrong, it doesn't really matter. I hear people talking about, it's weak if you walk away from an argument where you are 100% right. Listen, when you argue with a fool, people might not be able to tell the difference. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's not effective. It's not an effective way of communicating. One of the things you have to understand is that you're going to see things your way and somebody else is going to see things their way. That's it. Is there a right and wrong? I don't know. I know in life, I have my thoughts and my thought process, and other people have their thoughts and their thought process. Is theirs wrong just because it's different from mine? Is mine wrong just because it's different from theirs? This is the biggest argument that I see. People are trying to get somebody to see something their way. Look, you got to understand if somebody don't see it your way, they just don't see it your way. And that's just what it is. You state your case and that's it. You keep it moving. Whoever doesn't agree with you will not agree with you. It's not your job to try to convince somebody to see it your way. You state your case, and if they don't get it, then that's fine. Listen to me and listen to me very well, man. Stop arguing, especially with women. But I mean, with anybody, but especially with women. Guys, stop arguing, man. You want to build yourself up to be the most masculine version of yourself. You want to build yourself up to be the best version of yourself that you could possibly be. One of the things that you have to have is emotional intelligence. And until you have a level of emotional intelligence, you will always engage in arguments with people. Stop arguing with people. It's emotional and it's immature, and it's just a very ineffective way of communicating. Stop arguing. I just had that on my chest, man. I just wanted to throw that out there, guys. You will never be viewed. You will never be perceived as a masculine man if you out here arguing with people. Arguing is the weakest form of communication. I'm going to let y'all go, man. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good.